Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be working on a round canvas. I've had this canvas in my studio for I swear ever. And I don't know why I didn't use it. I don't know. Anyways, so I have this round canvas, which I'm learning that I actually like to work on round surfaces. Normally I do rectangles or squares, but playing with this one was really fun. And I have a ton more round canvases in my studio, so I think I'm gonna break them out and start playing on them. So I have some masking tape, and this roll was not being my friend. So I'm going to add some strips of masking tape down just to give a little texture in the background. No real rhyme or reason. Just kind of laying it down. And this is another piece that I had an idea in my mind and it went completely in a different direction. Story of my life, I swear. Tape and tape and more tape. So once I have all the tape down that I want, I'm going to cover the entire piece with gesso. I squirted out a little more than I needed, but that's okay. I just scooped it up and put it back in the bottle then. Boy, if that ain't crazy zooming. Sorry about that. Then I'm going to go in with Dina Wakley Media paint in Black Cherry, and I'm going to cover the entire background with the purple paint. And I went super bright with this one. Well, it started off super bright. And at first I thought, oh my gosh, these colors look like Easter egg colors, but I loved it in the end. So I'm just going to cover the whole piece. And I did spray, after I put the paint down on the canvas, I did spray it with water just to give it a little more fluidity. Just to make it a little more fluid. Add a loose brush hair. And then whatever's left on my paintbrush, I'm just going to paint the edges with. I didn't care for super coverage because I knew I was going to cover it up. So now I have magenta, tangerine, lemon, lime, and ocean Dina Wakley Media paints. And I'm going to apply them with my palette knife. I'm just going to squeeze a little onto the edges of my palette knife and scrape along the canvas. That way it picks up on the edges of the masking tape, and it's not super solid colors. And then I'm just going to wipe off in between. All right, once all those layers are dry, I did go over the entire piece with some gesso with my palette knife the exact same way, just to tone down the colors a little bit. And now I'm going to go in with I think it's a Dylusion stencil and some Finnabair paper texture paste, I believe. And I'm just going to add this on 2 spots of the canvas. And again, I'm learning, and I left it air dry. As hard as that might have been for me, but I did. And again, you know, you get the best results when you let mediums air dry. I'm learning patience. Slowly but surely, I'm learning patience. That's one thing I love about being a mixed media artist, is you don't always have to let things air dry, and you can just keep going. Now I'm going to draw a face with my Stabilo Mark-Saw pencil, and I absolutely love drawing faces, but I struggle because I want to keep them abstract, but then it's something inside of me says, oh, you have to make them realistic. So, you know, I think, oh, well, I'm going to make it really abstract and really funky, and I'm not going to care, you know, what shape the eyes are, what shape the lips are, if the nose is too close to the mouth, blah, blah, blah. And then as I'm drawing, I'm like, oh, no, that's not how an eye should look. That's not where the nose should be. So my face drawings tend to be a mix between abstract and realistic. So once I get all my sketches down, I'm going to spray the whole canvas with some water just to activate that Stabilo. And I really love the faded, shadowy looks that activating the Stabilo gives to your drawings. And I'm just going to keep going back and forth, a little spray, a little more marking. And looking at it now, it almost looks like a moon face, which wasn't what I was going for. Originally, I was only going to do a half a face. And I don't know, I just went with the whole one. And like, I know the eyes are lopsided and they're not the same shape. And that's part of I want it to be abstract. But then, you know, I'm trying to measure out like lip to nose ratio, nose to eye ratio. Are the eyes far enough apart? But I think a lot of why I draw my faces with my Stabilo is because I can get that like funky, smoky, abstracty look. So now I'm going to go in with the white gesso and add some white to the eyes and to the lips. And I didn't dry the Stabilo completely because I knew I wanted the gesso to activate it just a little bit, not completely because I didn't want them gray. But I did want them a little more shadowy and not super stark white. All right, now that I have the gesso out, I'm going to use the same paints that I used before, Ocean. And I'm going to mix that with some of the gesso that I have out on my workstation and give her blue eyes. And again, not trying to be super realistic, but not super abstract-y either. And then I'm not laying it on really thick. I'm putting it on pretty light and then dabbing it away with my finger. So it's not super, super stark in your face. And then I'm going to use the magenta mixed with some of the white gesso for her lips. And now that I see it, I kind of almost wish I would have left the lips white. But whatever. Hindsight. Then again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm mixing it with the gesso and then wiping it back with my fingers so it's kind of shadowy. And then I'm going to add a little of the pink to her eyebrows, which ended up not showing up anyways. So again, another thing with mixed media is, it's layer and layer and layer. And a lot of times you end up covering 90% of what you've done in the beginning. But it's about building layers. So I was all right with it. And then I'm going to go back in with my Stabilo and just kind of go over the lines that I had already made. Just because when I laid the paint down, I lost some of the shadowing and the marking. I don't know why I made her eyes so Egyptian-ish. But whatever. They came out pretty cool. And then I'm going to spray it all down again to activate the Stabilo. And then it's going to give it that, feathered out look. And now I have a Liquitex ink in Carbon Black that I initially wanted to add drops from the bottom of her eyes. And it all kind of blended together. So didn't turn out exactly like I was planning, but that's okay. Again, it happens. So like if it would have stayed right there, I would have been perfectly happy. But, I have to keep messing with it and keep playing with it and adding more and spraying more. I never know when enough is enough. Add a little more. I do, however, like how the ink has like picked up on the texture of the masking tape in the background, because I felt like a lot of the masking tape texture was lost. So that I was pretty happy with that. Adding and spraying and adding and spraying. And then once I'm happy with the amount of ink that I have on her face, I'm going to dry that up. And then I'm going to go in with black, cheapy artist acrylic paint. And I'm just going to use a makeup sponge and ink around all the edges. Just to, me, give it a frame, give it a border. But that way, it covers what I didn't cover with the purple. And then once I have all the edges painted, I do bring the black in towards the front on the edge just a little bit, just to give it a little more shadowing around the edge of the front of the canvas. And then I'll dry that up. And then I'm going to go in with my Art Alchemy Wax in Lucky Emerald. This is one of her older colors, but it's still one of my favorites. And with a little super teeny tiny brush, I'm going to cover each of the leaves with the wax. Just because I thought that the white was too stark. Again, I don't know why I can't have in your face white anything on my pieces. But I'm going to cover each of the leaves with that. And then after I do all the leaves of the texture, the paper texture paste, I'm going to use my fingers and go around the edge of the canvas and add the same green wax just to kind of tie it in together, because I didn't really, I used the lime green, but that's super bright, so this green was a little darker, and I just wanted to blend it in with the edges, something. I didn't want it to be the only dark green color on the canvas. And I really like how, where the black ink had picked up on the texture paste, the wax looks a little bit different than just on the white texture paste. So that was a nice little tone on tone kind of, gave it different tones to the greens and the leaves. So I'm just going to go around the edges and bring it in just a little bit just to pick up on that texture from the masking tape. And then that's going to be it, guys. It's another long one. Sorry. But you're welcome for the ones who like the long ones. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love for you to subscribe. Click the bell icon so you can get all the notifications for when I post new videos. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. Let me know. And if there's something you want to see me make, I am completely open for suggestions. There's times where I sit in my studio and I just stare because I don't know. I want to make a million things and then I don't know which one to start with. So if you have any suggestions on whether it's techniques or images or, anything that you would like for me to give a shot or give a shot out. Wow. Just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Bye.